Hello, Soul Family. Welcome. It's really, really nice to see you here again. I always look forward to recording this video, and today I believe is session 5 out of this program. So yeah, time passes, and I enjoy connecting with you in this channel. So if you are new here, my name is Astuti Marto Sudirjo, and I am the founder of Uplift My Life Today. As a conscious and subconscious mind reprogrammer, I help my clients by holding a healing space and also facilitating a transformational process for them to change or to transform their life into something that they wish. And this program that I am doing with you is aiming at helping you to deepen your embodiment of the unconditional self-love. So I hope that after doing the previous sessions, you are experiencing positive shift in your life. That certainly is my hope for you. Very good. So I'm excited today. I have a very interesting topic. It's very, very reflective, but also very, yeah, it will open up your mind and your heart to something that you may never consider before or not in a great depth. But before that, I would like us to just arrive in this healing space, arrive in your body, arrive in the room that you are in. And you can be present and focused in this session. So I invite you to close your eyes now and take a long, deep breath. Just slowly inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. As you continue to breathe with your eyes closed, I am now opening this healing space. And I am connecting this space with the universal unconditional love. I'd like you to just breathe in and out as this high vibrational love coming into your body. Just allow yourself to land in the center of your heart field. And just observe that this unconditional love emerging from the center of your heart field and starting to form a vortex inside your body. And just allow this vortex to spin in the direction it needs to or it wants to. You just observe. And just focus on your breathing and just connect to your body and just observe how your body feels. As you are breathing in and out, this vortex is growing in size. And it is starting to shape itself like a lotus flower made of light, vibrant light. And just observe this lotus start to bloom. And it is, as it is blooming, there's lights emanating with it, 360 degrees. So the lights come up and like a fountain, it comes down and coming back in. So just breathe and let this flower, the lotus flower, to grow. And just allow this lotus flower and the lights that emanates with and from it to fill up every levels and layers of your physical and energetical body. It is also merging with every cell in your body. This light will transform anything that you choose to let go today and activate all that you choose to activate today in all parts of your consciousness and in all levels and layers of your physical and energetical bodies, in all of your timelines, across time, space, dimensions, and realities. And just feel this lotus becomes bigger, even than your body. And just let it grow and grow. You just breathe and allow. Allow it to grow. It is going to hold every single one of you as you go through this healing journey today. So take a deep breath and bring your attention back into your body, knowing that this light is there, holding you, supporting you, loving you. And you may open your eyes now. Good. You are home. You are home in a healing space throughout this session. And I am inviting all of your higher selves to join us today to support you and to provide you support and insights that is most relevant for each of you. Good. So today's journey is to help you strengthen your commitment to creating a much more intimate connection with yourself, because you have chosen to be the main or primary provider of unconditional love for yourself. For love to flow into your heart, you need to drop your guard. All the walls that we put around us, around our heart, mind, soul, body. We need to find a way to drop the guards down and to take risk of opening up, particularly your heart. And what does that mean, opening up your heart? It is basically exposing who you are, who you truly are, your authentic self, to yourself, and to be available for yourself. That's the first step. When you are comfortable loving the experience of exposing yourself to yourself, taking out any secrets that you hide yourself against yourself, and being available for you, genuinely who you are, it would be easier for you to open up yourself to other people and to attract the kind of people and experience that would resonate with you, with the true you. Many people want love, but they are so closed off due to fear, and also not doing what is required, not committed enough to do what is required to allow the flow of love to happen, the flow in of love to happen. And I hear this a lot. There are so many excuses for this. I am one of those people also who make excuses for that. In the past, I would say something like, I don't know what love is. I feel like too much love sacrificed who I am. This is reflecting my relationship with my mother, particularly, or in relations to my father. I had this thing like, because my father traveled a lot, when we are connecting, is really pure parental love that I just love from my father. But because he travels so much, in my mind, love doesn't last. Yeah. So I said, why bother to open my heart? Because love never stays for forever anyhow. It comes and goes. You know, you come up with all kinds of reasons not to let the guards down, right? However, unless you choose to liberate yourself from all these stories and excuses and do something different about it, you will never be able to enjoy the infinite amount of love available for you, around you, and already in you. And this is something that it took many people many years to understand and to do something different about it. A lot of people associate opening their heart with pain. And then they have this belief like love hurts, love kills, love is painful. So while they want love, because a part of them are yearning for this, they're also very scared of it. And so they don't have this, what they keep on saying mentally to themselves is like, I want it, but their heart is completely closed off. Our capacity for intimacy and closeness, yeah, is perceivable by others, even though we are not necessarily talking about it. It's an energetic information, okay? And in order to develop your capacity for intimacy, you need to start with intimacy with yourself first. And this requires you to be present and available to yourself, for yourself, and not to judge when you are connecting to the truer part of yourself. It is important for you to be able to build an authentic connections with yourself. So in today's session, I will cover what it takes to deepen your commitment to yourself, and then to reprogram your subconscious mind to help you to commit even more in creating an intimate relationship with yourself, which consequently then allow you to create more intimate relationship with other people, not only in romantic relationship context, it could be in friendship, parenting, whatever, right? And finally, I will ask you to start the habit of connecting with the messages that come from your emotions. So these are the three things that we're going to cover today. Now, an important part or an important key to build an intimate relationship or connection with yourself also is to be open and available to ideas and experiences that are new and different to you. To be receptive and to be able to remain neutral instead of judgmental whenever you experience something different and new. The capacity to achieve intimacy in a self-loving relationship truly depends on how skilled you are at acknowledging, expressing, managing your emotions and feelings. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that. The capacity to achieve an intimacy with a self loving relationship, meaning in a loving relationship with yourself, depends on how skilled you are in, number one, acknowledging, number two, expressing, and number three, managing your emotions and feelings. Acknowledging, expressing, managing emotions and feelings. We are human beings, not human doings. Feelings and emotions are a part of our lives, and this is not something we can switch off. We can switch it off when we die. As long as we are breathing and alive, we are always experiencing feelings and emotion. Now, a solid relationship with yourself or with others requires you to have the capacity to respond reasonably well to your own feelings and those of others. So if you want to move through life, being your authentic self, living your soul lessons, growing in all aspects of your life, you cannot do it always in isolation from other people, right? So you have to do it through connections. You grow through connection. Human grows through everything actually grows through connection. So it is imperative that you develop the skills to recognize how you feel and to share this with someone else in a constructive way. I notice, because of the kind of clients that I usually work with, that we often think of our feelings instead of feeling them. We conceptualize, intellectualize our feelings. I did that too. That's why I recognize when people do it. For many, many years, I was guarding my heart, including against myself, that I intellectualize what I was feeling. And the practice of doing this habit led me to burnout. Because I didn't understand, I didn't have the skill to understand what my feeling was trying to tell me, right? Intellectualizing feelings created a chronic denial of emotional needs that eventually had severe consequences. In my case, it was burnout. In other people's case, it was diseases. In other people's case, it was a breakdown in relationship or a mental breakdown. It could be so many things, or even depression, yeah? So a lot of us are doing this. Some people deny completely, ignore, repress their feelings and bottle them inside. This happens, the bottling of the emotion inside, this happens because it could be that they deny their feelings. So when they feel something, they're saying, no, that's not what I really am feeling. Okay. I was one of those people. I did this a lot in the past. And then they could have been bottled up their emotion inside because they feel ashamed for what they feel. It's like, I should not feel this way. That's because you're thinking here instead of like, I'm feeling it. But when you create a story, I should not feel this way with everything that I have. I should not feel sad about something. This is when you're going up instead of staying down here. You go up into your mind, into your head, sorry. And the third thing is that they're bottling up in the emotion inside is because they try to feel something different. Instead of just feeling what it was, they say, okay, I should feel different in a different way. And they're trying to change it. Okay. These are not helping. These are not intimate connection with yourself. This habit is not you accepting who you are, who your authentic self. Your authentic self has these feelings, then you just accept it. Let go the judgment. But it is really difficult, usually, right? This is why we are going to have to understand what is the benefit of changing these habits, but also doing some reprogramming to allow that to happen with much more ease. Because if we live for decades, like I was until the burnout, I was 38 years old when I had the burnout, was it? Yes, I was 34. Sorry, I was 34 when I experienced the burnout. I did all this all the time. It's like all these the way I deal with emotion was that it was like, it doesn't make sense for me to feel this way. I should not, I judge myself. I should not feel this way. And I try to change it. Or no, this is not a feeling for me. This may be other people's feeling, but it's not mine. When actually my body was screaming like, this is how you feel. Or I feel like I should not feel this way because I'm a much stronger person, or I am the team leader, or whatever. So this is certainly not creating an intimate connection with yourself. That does not help you to allow self-love to grow within you. How we live these days in the modern world certainly does not help us to learn or manage our emotion in skillful ways. There is always ways to either dealing or numbing out the emotions instead of making time, creating space, and learn the skills to do it. For example, I think the generation of my grandparents certainly did not take that many medications compared to our generation today. There's always a pill for something today, be it physically, mentally, everything. I'm not saying that all the medications that are available are not good for us, but I think there are too many, and sometimes it's a shortcut when we are missing out the opportunities to connect with ourselves and to learn the skills, to be intimate and committed to ourselves. The truth is, and this is what I get asked a lot in my client sessions, emotion has a function. What is not good is when you're stuck chronically in certain heavy emotions. But in itself, the heavy emotions like anger, fear, sadness, shame, and guilt, for example, they have a function in your life. But when you are not attending to them, they stay and grow. Okay? So I was always telling my clients that being well does not mean that you're not going to experience heavy emotions. You're not. You're going to experience it because you're human, and those emotions have function. They have a message to tell you. So when being well means that when you have these emotions coming, you sit with it, you breathe with it, you try to understand the meaning of this, and then you let it go. When we are repressing, this is going to add up. It's like you're collecting dust and you never attend to it. And it grows, become a ball of dust and become a room of dust. Yeah, so that's when it becomes very toxic for you. But if you have the habit of connecting to your emotion on a daily basis, you take the benefit of it because these emotions have function. Okay? So I'm going to mention some of them here. Anger. Let's start with that. This is the one that most people, including myself, find it very challenging to deal with. And trust me when I tell you, I had experience to touch and process a pent-up anger that was there for decades. It was like a dragon coming up, right? When it needs to be, as part of my healing journey, it has to be unleashed. But thankfully, I had enough skills at the time to deal with that. So, but for a lot of people, anger is a very scary emotions. But the truth is, anger, when it's not chronic and toxic anymore, serves us to set limits or boundaries. And it is actually an emotion that helps create a healthy separations from other people. Okay? That's what anger is for. So when it is repressed or ignored, you will have a hard time honoring who you are and what you need, which may disturb the setting of your boundaries or limits against other people as a way to protect yourself against potential abuse, harm, or violation, whatever it is, on different levels, emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical, right? So anger is your ally when you're not scared to work with it, because it tells you a lot about what you have dishonoring yourself for, what needs that you have chosen not to fulfill for yourself. Okay, so that's what anger is. Now, fear. Let's talk about fear. Fear helps you to detect signs of danger and puts you on the alert, aware, and fully present and alive in that moment. So it helps you to stay present. And it also tells you if there is something that you need to be alert of, so you can prevent something from happening or save yourself when it's already in motion. So when it is honored and welcomed, fear keeps you active and energized, present, and committed to what is happening in the moment. Chronic fear is a toxic fear. Chronic fear is a compilation of fear ignored. Okay, that's why there's a different way to deal with them. But when you are being in the moment and you know that whenever you feel fear, you know that, oh, it is helping me to detect something and to be present, then you're not being controlled by fear. And you say, thank you. Now you start to be alert, present, focused. Okay. It's very useful. It's very useful. Fear helps you to keep yourself safe. But chronic fear, when it is starting to paralyze you from doing it, that's something else. That's like accumulated of unprocessed, repressed, ignored fears. Let's talk about guilt and shame. Guilt and shame. Guilt is the difference between shame. Shame would be like, I'm not, is connected to worth. So I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not fast enough, whatever it is. Guilt is I do something wrong. So guilt is connected to action. Shame is connected to worth. Okay. Guilt and shame, both, they serve to restore integrity when you cross and break your own limits or boundaries and those of someone else. Okay. So the usefulness of guilt and shame is that they help you to take responsibility for your faults and to own it and to do whatever it takes to amend it or to compensate or to fix the damage that you caused. It is helping, they are helping you to restore your integrity, keeping your words to yourself and to others. Okay. There are so many more other emotions, not just these ones, but these are the most present, and these are the main emotions that a lot of people are very scared to touch and work with. There are so many more other emotions, and each of the emotion, when they are well managed, they carry messages and they carry wisdom. So if connecting and receiving messages from your emotion is not a part of your lifestyle and day to day, I'd like you to start the habit in this program. The way I do it, and this is also what I facilitate in my clients when we have private session, is that when they identify the emotions that they're feeling, then I would say personify. I said, okay, imagine this guilt is a person, okay? Following your heart, not your mental mind. You personify that so that it's easier for you to have conversation with it, right? So if, for example, one of my clients experienced deep guilt, then I said, okay, if this guilt has a body, is it a female or a male or none of those? Is it old or young? How does it look like? And now you give the guilt, or this personified guilt, a voice, have a conversation. Why are you here? What would you like to tell me that you are coming into my life? And you just start to download this and write it down. And then when you feel like you get all the information, then you say, thank you. Now you may go. And if it's not going, it's coming back again, that means there's another message coming in. But they are a source of wisdom. Okay? They're a source of wisdom for you. And it is very important life skill to master this, to understand the message from your emotions. I will provide you some guidance later on even more. So this is one when you personify and then start to have conversation. But I have one other one that I will share with you after we do the subconscious mind reprogramming part. Now, you have decided that you are going to be the main provider of unconditional self-love, which is great. But it's not enough just to want it and to open up to receive it. You must commit to it too, because the commitment you have will move you. It will help you to organize your life, your way of thinking, the consideration of your choices in accordance to what you must do to love yourself the most. So loving yourself unconditionally is becoming the direction of your life, the only direction of your life. That's what you have even when you are working at the office, or when you're parenting, or when you're in a relationship with your life partners, when you are nurturing your connections with colleagues, friends, strangers. The heading becomes unconditional self-love. That's the direction. And it sets a life path that will not disappear when things become difficult. Okay? So what does that mean practically when you decide to do this? You have to choose for the right thing in accordance to loving myself unconditionally again and again and again. It's about making the same choice going into that direction again and again and again every day. It's multiple times per day. Big decision to what is good for me to eat today for my body. What is the most loving food that I can offer my body today if your body is extremely exhausted? 2, decision about what do I do in this relationship with this person? What is good for, what is best for me to do in relations to my situation, and conflict situation at work? Yeah, so it could be ranging to things that are very simple to things that is the biggest that you needed to choose for. That's commitment. Commitment is showing up, going to the same direction, and making choices regularly every day. What I find to be extremely important when we are being in this path of unconditional love is to know what question to ask yourself, right? In living in this path of unconditional self-love. And the question is, and this is something I would recommend you to consider and to commit to, if this is resonating with you, is what is the most loving thing I can do for myself in the situation I am in right now? This is a key question that needs to be a part of your daily life all the time. What is the most loving thing I can do for myself in the situation that I am in right now? I can hear some people say, but that's selfish because I can only think about what is good for me. This is what you need to understand. When you unconditionally loving yourself, you are going to be unconditionally loving others. Okay? They may not agree with your choice because the other people may not see that what you're about to do or what you choose to do is also actually good for them, because they need to then see everything differently, right? So this is why sometimes when you are choosing the most loving action for yourself, people react negatively against it. They resist it, they reject it, they're against it. That is very possible to happen. It will happen. Whether it will happen often or not, that is something that I cannot tell you upfront, but I can tell you it will happen. But you need to understand, when you come from an intention of unconditionally loving yourself, you are aiming for the highest frequency of love, that the only love that can come out from you is the unconditional love. Okay? So learn to understand this and learn to be compassionate, not when people react in disagreement. And this is why commitment is important, because you get a setback. You will get a setback. That is guaranteed. People, when you haven't lived your life really embodying this, they are so used to you behaving towards them, accommodating them, connecting to them in a certain way. But when you are choosing, hang on a minute, now I'm going to ask myself, what is the most loving action that I can do for myself right now in this particular moment? And those actions that you choose are different than the ones you used to. They will have issues. And you just have to process the emotion that comes with. Guilt could come up. Oh my God, if I love myself, I'm upsetting them, all these things. So this is why commitment and intimacy with yourself come together. You will experience guilt. You will experience shame. You will experience fear as you are walking the path of unconditional love, and anger too. Why can't you see it? Why can't you understand it? This is actually good for both of us. And then, but that you may be angry about it, and that's fine, right? That's fine. So the key question that helps you to continuously commit yourself to embody unconditional self-love is, what is the most loving thing I can do for myself in the situation that I am in right now? This is what you have chosen. I am the primary provider of unconditional self-love. It's a very rich love. And many, many people around you may not even know what that feels like. So resistance, rejections, setback, pushback will happen. But the more you are growing in this place, the more you're going to have much more compassion for yourself and for other people. And the less and less you're going to get triggered by it. But it's important for you to continuously connecting with your emotions that you experience as you walk through this path of unconditional self-love. When we commit to something or someone, and in this case, us, that we are going to do the most loving thing for ourselves, we may have to stop doing certain things. And we may even experience grief, loss, sadness in it, even though it's for a very good reason. But something we need to always remember is that while it may be so that there is a real loss, what we gain in return is so much more valuable, that we embody unconditional self-love. And we experience much more freedom in our lives. Committing to love brings love into your life. Okay, committing to love brings love into your life. So right now, I am going to invite you to get ready for a reflection about commitment. Commitment to loving yourself unconditionally. And what I would like you to reflect on is what makes it harder for you to commit to loving yourself unconditionally. But before that, I would like to mention two things that will be the focus of where you're going to do the reflection from, which glasses you're going to reflect this from, okay? And these are two things, two concepts that I would like to share with you. One, the first concept is unconditional or unconscious systemic loyalty. And the second one is unconscious promise. Okay. This isn't something that we often talk about, but the impact of this from the perspective of the subconscious mind is profound and huge. Okay. So if you remember back on the first session, I believe it was, I mentioned that we live and keep ourselves safe, surviving and thriving in life through connections. Connections with our family, and our family is part of a bigger system, right? So I, Astuti, I have a family, and then my family has extended family. My extended family belongs to a cultural group called the Javanese, Central Javanese. This is a cultural group that we belong to. And then we are also belong to another system called Indonesia, because Java is part of Indonesia. And then I, Astuti, I belong to another system, which is a system based on my profession. So I belong to a system called healers, right? Are these organizations? These are not organizations. These are energetic connections, okay? Everybody has this. And we for sure belong to, first and foremost, our biological family. And then if you get adopted or you are being, if you are being adopted, then you also have a secondary family. And then you marry into somebody, then you belong to this extent, the family of the persons you married with. So we are always, our energy system is always connected to many systems, right? And it's important to understand the implication of this connection. The subconscious mind is always trying to connect you with something bigger to keep you safe. System exists to nourish and protect you. But every system has their own norms. What are the good behavior and not good behavior? What is acceptable or not acceptable in each of the systems? And most of the times we're not even aware of it, but there are rules in place, and your subconscious mind is unconsciously connected to these rules. Okay, this is why sometimes when we want to be our authentic self, and we think it's just our calls that we have to strengthen and reprogram, but it's not true, because when you are connected to a bigger system, you also have to entangle yourself from the rules of the system without feeling that you are betraying your system, because system exists to protect and nourish you, but you have to go through an internal process, detanglement of certain rules that blocks you, that comes from the system, which will not change because they're way bigger than who you are, that blocks you from being your authentic self or in this case, blocks you from loving yourself unconditionally. Okay, so unconscious systemic loyalty is this unconscious until you call it out, until you observe it and you start to realize, yeah, there is an unspoken, unwritten rules that is defined, that is not helping me to love myself unconditionally. Okay, when we honor the rules of our systems, be it family or something bigger, we are being loyal and feel at peace, usually, right? This is why being authentic self is a journey of detangling things one by one, right? And also takes courage, because then at some point you have to make a decision to say, while I'm belong and loving my family, I'm choosing to live my life differently. But if you're not making that connection in a peaceful way, you always have this guilt because you feel like you're betraying something. And sometimes you don't even realize that you have this betrayal going on. Okay? This is why it's very difficult to change. Not because you don't want it, it's because there's so many elements that you don't even see. So in this session, I'm trying to help you to see a couple of things that may be at play that blocks your decisions and commitment to loving yourself unconditionally. So as I mentioned, when we honor the rules or the family or the system that we are part of, we feel like we are being loyal and we feel at peace. And when your own conscious choice and wishes are not in full alignment, agreement, compliance with those of your systems, we can see there are three main ways that how it would show up in your life. You achieve what you want, and then you lose it. Okay, so you cannot hold it. You cannot continue living in it. You lose it. So you get it and you lose it. That's one. The second one is you struggle with great effort to get what you want and you do not achieve it. It's almost like you're sabotaging something or fighting against something that you can't even tell. Okay, this is usually what happens. Or you get what you want and then something always happens to hinders you from enjoying it. That's where this is symptomatic to there is an unconscious systemic loyalty that you need to clear out. And you may wonder, why? Why do we even do this unconsciously? Because your subconscious mind is connecting you to, because we are part of a structure, bigger structure to keep us safe. And your subconscious mind is connecting to the information that exists in each of the structure. Okay, and it just downloading these things. As you know, subconscious mind works really in a way that is beyond our comprehension. It's so powerful and so huge and so fast. It has one function: to keep you alive, to keep you safe, and to keep you alive as long as possible. Okay. So then you may wonder, what if the systemic rules that the rules from the systems that I belong to, be it my family or something bigger, block me from loving myself unconditionally? The answer to this conflicting situation is what you're going to do now. You bring these unconscious loyalty from the depth of yourself into the surface, okay? Because then you can acknowledge that these are here, and then to be compassionate and to feel love and gratitude towards these patterns up to this point, because these patterns have kept you safe so far, right? And now you say, thank you, patterns, but now I'm choosing to love my system in a different way. And then you decide, and your decision is, I show my love and gratitude to my system by embodying unconditional self-love. That's how I'm going to love you and to honor you. Okay? So this is a very compassionate movement. You need to not be upset about it, because actually, whatever you have been unconsciously loyal to had kept you safe up to this moment. It's just that right now, you are choosing to say, I am going to create more space between my system while still being connected to it and honoring what I want. Because when I am healthy, I bring more love to the system. At the end of the day, what you want to bring into your system is more love, more light. It's to help your system to exist in a higher vibrational way, right? So this is one aspect that we're going to do today. The other thing that I mentioned to you earlier is about the unconscious promise. This is a killer usually. So unconscious promise are promises that you either make to yourself and to other people that you didn't even remember, but still active. Okay, promise is one that will either help you to do something or to block you from doing something. Unconscious promise usually happens during a very stressful time. Sentences like, I will never fall in love again, when you had a broken heart, right? And human is so programmed to do this, because if you think of ballads, love songs, heartbreaking songs, they have all kinds of, nice sentences that was actually expressing how you feel. But when you repeat it again and again and again, it become a program for your subconscious mind. And when you're so stressed, your subconscious mind is paying attention, because a burst of emotion makes it alert, right? And means like, okay, let me hear it. What is it that she doesn't want anymore? She doesn't want to fall in love again. Tag it in the program. This is an important program. So every time you want to have a relationship, there's always something that makes it difficult, impossible, or blocked. Okay, so promises, unconscious promises, like I would never do this until this happens. I would never allow myself this. I would never blah, blah, blah. Or when you are out of love for somebody else, you would say something like, until you get better, I will not allow myself to do this. If the other person is going through a very difficult time, it's coming from a gesture of, I will never leave you behind. I will always be connected to you, going through the thick and thins. But you say all these things and then you forget about it, but it's active. Unconscious promises. This is something that is also pervasive in your efforts to get what you want. Okay? So I'd like you to now sit, and I will put up a slide in a minute to help you to bring out. And when you bring it out, I'd like you not to think about it, because a lot of these things may not be so sensible, but you try to access the information from being in the center of your heart, from your body. Let your body and your heart speak to you. Okay? So what I would like you to do is the intention here, why we wanted to get this out, is because you wanted to be able to commit yourself more, to embody, and to be the provider of unconditional self-love for yourself. So I'd like you to scan through in the reflection of your family system. You can start from your parents, your siblings, aunts and uncles, so everybody in the generation of both sides of your parents. And then if you have the information or interact with the different individuals, or if you have some information about the generation before, your grandparents from both sides, and then the stories of how they live, etc., as much as you can, just scan them through. Okay, just connect to this information. And sometimes, maybe even when you are not able to consciously know it, if you are very comfortable with meditation, you just call in the information coming from you just say, I want to get in touch with my systemic information, right? And I'd like you to spot or see common patterns that exist within your family system about loving self unconditionally. Okay. So the first question that I will ask you, and you will see it in the slide, is for my family system, loving self unconditionally is what? Is it natural? Is it impossible? Is never heard of? Never happens? Very difficult? What? And just try to find, and it could be many things. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not, whatever. Just try to find some keywords that resonate the most with what you feel at that moment, right? When you're connected to the family information. Second question, who do you know of or heard of that discreetly, secretly, quietly, actually wants to experience unconditional self-love, but cannot? Okay, it could be your sister, cousin, nephew, whoever, grandparents, one of them. That's the second question. The third question, and this may not be very sensible, the answer to this, is who do you feel you would betray when you commit yourself to love yourself unconditionally? This is very deep question. Okay, so use your heart to answer this. It may just be a feeling, that's what you would say. It is there. Just download the information, allow this to come up. You may say, like, I don't even know my great-grandmother, but I have a feeling it's her. Acknowledge it, honor it, don't question. Because your conscious mind does not have all the information, but your body, your subconscious mind, which is your heart and your body and your soul, they have that. So just be open to get that out. Okay? The next one and the last one would be, what promise did you make to yourself of other people throughout your life that may block you from loving yourself unconditionally? So the easiest would be to go to very stressful time in your life and then see, did I make any promises then? And just take your time. Now, what do you do when you have this information? There will be the second slide that I will bring up. You're going to acknowledge it by saying it out loud. There is a power in bringing these ideas into a more tangible form through words. So when you say it out loud, you acknowledge it and you allow it to land in your body, right? And you are going to read out each of these sentences slowly while tapping yourself. The intention, however, before you read it out loud, is to honor, acknowledge, and let go. Because you see them blocking you from loving yourself unconditionally. Okay? Acknowledge these patterns and the betrayal feeling. And take your time. Take your time to do it. This is quite deeply digging. And it may not be so sensible to you. So trust your body. Trust your heart. Trust your soul. They are helping you now to be successful in loving yourself unconditionally. So just give them a chance to give you the information. And we are not here to judge anybody or the family. We are just going to acknowledge that the loyalty you had towards your family by not loving yourself unconditionally fully serve you a purpose. But now You are enlarging your ability and capability to lean towards yourself, to have much more balance between belonging to the family and the system and belonging, being authentic and autonomous by embodying your authentic self. Good. So I'm going to put up the slides now. Enjoy your reflections, and I will let you know when I'm about to move the slide from number 1 into number 2. So you can, if you need more time, you just pause the video. Slowly move the first slide into the second one. So if you need more time here, you may pause the video. Good. Welcome back from your reflection. I hope you have enjoyed that. I'm not surprised if this is quite challenging for you, so I would just encourage you to try to do it again if you needed more time. Some of you may have done it for your family system before. If you feel called to check out bigger system than your family, it could be professional related. So in my case, I also had entanglement with healers community, for example. Feel free to do that. There is no rigid structure when it comes to bigger systems than your family. So you need to tune into which system possibly may impact you at this particular reflection. Okay. So I'd like you to just stretch your body a little bit. There's a lot of information moving. Before we move into the next part, go to the loo, go to the toilet, drink a sip of water, stretch, go around a little bit. I am going to pause the video for a few minutes, not for a few minutes, for a few seconds, so I can have a drink of water and stretch myself, and I'll be back with you to start the third part of the next part of this session today, which is to do the subconscious mind reprogramming. I'll see you in very soon. Good. I hope you have had the chance to stretch yourself and to get the energy moving into your body. So this is the part where I'm going to facilitate the subconscious mind reprogramming journey for you. And the intention for this session is to help you to connect with yourself much more intimately and to continuously commit to living your authentic self, to choose what is best for your highest truth and good, and to love yourself first and foremost. So when you live your authentic life, you are going to be able to show up for others who need your support in the healthiest way. And when I say what is to choose for what is best for your highest truth and good is basically equates to what is the most loving for you. Okay. And what is aligned with your highest truth and good is usually also good for other people's highest truth and good in one form or another, as we discussed before. So, per usual, there are three parts to this reprogramming. The first one is that we are going to acknowledge some unconscious and limiting conscious, unconscious, and limiting patterns, beliefs, emotions, and also programs that disturb, distort, and block you from the goal. Per usual, I'm tuning into the collective needs here, the collective patterns, and then to bring them all up for you to let them go. This part of choosing to let them go, this is very important because this is you basically exercising your free will to choose as the holder of your soul and the subject of your life. Okay. The second part, then I will facilitate a process where I'm going to bring positive patterns that will help you so you can integrate that into your system and your subconscious mind. This will help you to show up for yourself in much more easy way, in much more easiness, with much more easiness. And the third part is the concrete action that I would like you to do. And this is connected to connecting or managing getting wisdoms from your emotions. This is part of you creating a good habit that you can use and you will use for the rest of your life. So per usual, just follow my leads. And when you are tapping and speaking out loud the sentences that I will lead you to do, focus on your body. Focus your attention also on your body and to acknowledge how your body reacts to this, okay? Very good. So let's get started. So just lean back. If you're lying down as you're doing this, by now I'm assuming you already remember the different tapping points in your body. So just follow that and do it comfortably. But if you're lying down or sitting down, it's best not to cross your legs when you do this. So the energy flows much easier. And if you are thirsty as you are doing this, feel free to take a sip of water anytime. Just go for it, okay? Now, so I'd like you to close your eyes and just center yourself. Bring again the attention of you being in this universal unconditional love bubble that we activate in the beginning of the session. You are in there and just allow yourself to land into the center of your heart and breathe. Connect to your body as we are going to start with the intention. So now you can tap yourself on the Karate point and just take a deep breath and repeat after me. Even though it does not feel all natural and easy yet, to fully love myself unconditionally, I choose to connect with myself intimately and continuously commit to live my life choosing what is best for my highest truth and good. And loving myself first and foremost. When I live my authentic life, I am able to show up for others who need my support healthily. Good. We're going to start acknowledging and letting go the limiting patterns. The first few sentences is preventing you from being available for self-love. Top of your head. I want others to show up without me having to change or take any risks. Beginning of your forehead, eyebrow. I am in denial without realizing how close I am from love. I am in denial without realizing how I close myself off from love. The end of your eyebrow. I expect others to recognize and love me first. And until this happens, I am on the defensive and shut down. Take a deep breath. Under the eye, my demeanor is so close off, but I do not realize this. Take a deep breath. I shut down when it comes to anything new and different. Under the nose. These next few sentences is about what limit your capacity for intimacy. I explode easily. Under your lip or on your chin. I don't know how to respond to feelings, my own or others. Under your collarbones, I don't understand myself. I don't understand others. I cannot express what is happening to me to other people. There is no depth in me or to me. I stay on the surface, focused on the facts. Good. Take a deep breath. We're going to go to the karate chop point again. This sentence, the few sentences, is about the negative patterns in how you handle your feelings. Okay. Karate chop point. I deny my feelings. I feel ashamed of feeling what I feel. I should not be feeling what I feel. Top of the head. When I feel something, I try to feel something else. I cannot separate myself from other people. And set limits in a healthy way because I deny and repress my anger. Beginning of your eyebrow. I stop honoring who I am and what I need because I do not know what to do with my anger. Now we go to the end of the eyebrow. The next few sentences is what limits your capacity for commitment. I am afraid to commit. Under the eye. I am not willing to make any commitments. Under the nose. I am thinking about other people's goals, but mine. Under the chin or on the chin. I'd rather play small and not paying the price of growing up. Collarbone. I promise things I'm not capable of fulfilling. And then I fail. I force myself to commit. And then panic sets in. Okay, so you put your left hand above your heart and your right above your belly button. Take a deep breath. I recognize these limiting patterns. And now I cancel, clear, and delete them completely and thoroughly. I forgive myself for allowing others to define who I am and who I am to become. I forgive myself for not being more committed to myself, thinking that I need others to understand me and my dream. Before it is safe to pursue it. I forgive myself for neglecting my inner world and instead reacting to what is placed before me by others. And just take a deep breath. Good. Have a sip of water if you want to, as we are going to start now with the integration of what actually help you or help all of us to commit to ourselves with much more ease. Okay. Let's go. Let's start with the karate chop point. These positive patterns help you to be more available for love. Okay, take a deep breath. I intend to be the love of my life. And I am willing to be what is required. And to take action as needed. Top of the head. I am open with everyone I meet. I expose the real me to everyone. I appreciate the gift in people who are not like me. I appreciate my gifts, which are not like those of others. My attitude is open, friendly, and accessible. Good. Now you go to the beginning of your eyebrow. These next few sentences is to help you to develop your capacity for intimacy. I realize what is happening to me when it's happening. End of the eyebrow. I know how to respond to my feelings. Under the eyes, I know how to respond to the feelings of others. Under the nose, I am able to share what is happening with me with another. On your chin, I am capable of listening to myself and enjoying my own company. On your collarbones, or below your collarbones, there is great depth to me. And I go beyond the facts. I am interested in what happens to the others on the inside. Okay, take a deep breath. Go back to the karate chop point. These are the positive patterns you need to integrate in handling your feelings healthily. Take a deep breath. I accept what I'm feeling. It is okay to feel what I feel. I accept what I'm feeling at the moment I am feeling it. I honor what I am and what I need because I know how to handle my anger. I recognize my guilt. And assume responsibilities for my faults. Good. Let's go to the top of the head. And these next few sentences is what you need to develop your capacity for commitment. The commitments I make keep me focused when faced with a challenge. I am willing to lose a certain degree of freedom and commit to it because of what I gain in exchange. I commit to the degree I wish to. Okay. I can fulfill my commitments, and I do so. Beginning of the eyebrow. I make promises that I am capable of keeping. The end of the eyebrow. Commitments make sense of my life. Under the eye. I lose the fear of commitment as I take baby steps in the directions of my desire. Under the nose, I embrace that I am a wildly complex being. My unique self-expression serves an important divine purpose in this world. And I am committed to it. On your chin, I commit to honor my desires. To allow for the emergence of my authentic self that is aligned with my highest potential. Below the collarbones. I commit to taking time to fully appreciate and accept my fears, anger, and other feelings, to process them so I am liberated from them. Good. So now put your left hand above your heart and your right hand above your belly button. Take a deep breath. Repeat after me. I choose to integrate, activate, and implement completely and thoroughly all of these positive patterns now. And just take a deep breath. Come back to your body. And if you close your eyes, feel free to open it. If it's already open, then let me just tell you what you are going to do as an integration action before we close this session. So during the next at least 7 days, I would like you to start developing the habit of listening to the messages from your emotions. As I mentioned earlier, this is a part of you actualizing your commitment to loving yourselves and the emotions that are valuable parts of you being intimate with yourself. So please remember that fear, when handled well, protects you from danger. Anger honors your needs and helps to set your limits. Sadness leads to acceptance and to processing grief. Real guilt and shame gets you to assume responsibilities for your mistakes and learn from the lessons. So every day, I would like you to take a moment, maybe 10 minutes at the end of the day or before you go to bed, whenever you feel it's appropriate for you, to connect to what emotions you feel that are heavy that day, right? And you can use the feeling wheels that you've seen in the previous sessions if you don't know what that is exactly, or you can download it. You just look for feeling wheels, or you can just connect to it and just connect to whatever is you feeling that you can identify that day. Okay. So sit with yourself, ground, be in privacy of yourself and ask, what am I feeling right now? Or what is it that I have today that I feel that I haven't had time to process? If it is anger, the question that you will ask yourself is, and you will see it in the slide that I'm going to put up, is what need in me is not being honored? What limit do I need to set? This is connected to anger. If it is fear that you are feeling, ask yourself, is there a danger lurking around that I need to be aware of? Is it emotional danger, physical danger, mental danger, or other type of danger? Is there something I want to control that lies beyond my power to do that? Because that invokes fear, right? And then do what you can do when you identify this and leave the rest to the hands, the bigger hands, the universe, God, whatever you believe in. Okay. So that if that is fear. If it's guilt, the question is, have I done something to hurt myself or other people, what do I need to take accountability for and do it? Okay. If it's sadness, is there something I'm letting go of? Either a person, a place, an experience, a belief, and whatever. Is there something I'm not accepting about what is going on in my life at this moment? And when you get the wisdom, make a choice. If it is shame, then ask yourself, what have I secretly judged myself as? Or how do I honestly see myself right now? Okay. And if it's other emotions, just ask yourself, what would this emotion ask of me? So you have this exercise, and you also have a direct conversation that I mentioned to you earlier. Personify this emotion and let it speak to you and ask questions to it. Okay. And when you get the information, you just breathe and let it come out and leave your body, and do it with gratitude, because it has helped you very well to love yourself unconditionally. Good. So now put your left hand back into your heart and the right one above your belly button. Take a deep breath. You can close your eyes as you do this and repeat after me. This session has ended. And I am enjoying the transformation of my consciousness. And just connect back to this unconditional love energy that comes from the universe. And just acknowledge that it is doing its work, transforming what needs to be transformed, deactivating what needs to be deactivated, and activated what needs to be activated. Just connect to it, send your gratitude towards it, and allow it to continue working until it's complete in your body. Nothing you have to do apart from allowing. And I am now closing the healing space, and I hand over your support to your higher selves as you continue the integration of what is happening, what has happened in this session. Good. Feel free to open your eyes. Enjoy the relaxed feelings in your body. I hope you are getting excited about understanding your emotions, your heavy emotions more. It's a very enriching exercise. So I hope you do enjoy that. So before I end this video, if you're going through a big change in your life and you're not feeling empowered in the process, I have already an existing self-paced online program called the Uplift Program. I would encourage you to check it out, or write me or ask me questions about it if you're not clear what it is. It is a profound and highly transformative experience. 7 modules with in-depth process connecting to both your conscious and subconscious mind also. The link of this program is in the description box, and my email address, or how you can link up to me, is also in the description box. So feel free to connect with that. So finally, I would like to ask you, if you feel this program or this session has been useful for you, give it a thumbs up. And if you have not done so and you resonate with my energy, I would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel and to share it with the people that you know that would appreciate what is on offer here in this channel. So I wish you a great integration. Be loving and gentle with your body. Give your body what it needs. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next session in this Uplift My Life Today channel. Goodbye.